Hello and welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. I'm your host, John Tanner,
And I'm your co-host, Sebastian Tanner.
and welcome to episode 51. I have been so pumped up the whole week from the last episode that we had to get back into the studio and do 50 and episode do fit. Blah, I can't even talk. Do episode 51. How about you, Sebastian? Did you feel the same way too?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
That's awesome, man. It's I literally I literally enjoy this like so much, Sebastian. I don't know why we. How did we let 8 months go before we rebooted to season three? What happened, man?
Life, I mean, is just
Of
when
course,
you, I guess
life.
when you stop, you gotta really, the consistency with it, I mean, just like even with the gym, anything else in life, even with like me reading my books, I stopped doing that for a while. And I guess you can get into the habit after so long that just like the weeks go by. Because with life, everyone's got their own situation going on. So you
Yeah,
don't
for
know how
sure.
busy you can end up getting. And before you know it, just all of a sudden, 8 months flew by. It felt like 8 weeks for me. It didn't even feel like 8 months.
Right?
So it just the time flies by. That's why you just have to make the choice, the sacrifice to just get it done, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Like, yeah, and this is it's a good point. It wasn't planned to talk about um, calendaring and scheduling and accountability, but
Yeah,
it's so important to use a calendar to put this thing down, like put it on paper, and then to have accountability to make sure that you follow through. Because writing it down is one thing, but following through is another. And if you don't write it
exactly.
down, you're probably not going to do it. And if
That's
you don't
right.
do it, you've got to give yourself a punishment if you don't do it, and a reward if you do it. Right.
Yeah,
So I didn't plan on talking about that, but it kind of ties into to what I was working on this morning for the book that we're creating, for the course that we're creating for life coaching. And I posted a couple of pictures that I am including in our book that I
yeah,
found this morning, and it was about short-term goals and long-term goals and using SMART goals. Okay, so it kind of ties into
yeah.
that. Like those are helpful, and for anything that you are doing in your business, and it would certainly be helpful for anyone who's interested in starting a podcast. By the way, one of our neighbors told my mom that your grandma, that she wants me to help her create a podcast.
That's great.
I know, isn't that pretty cool? So
Oh,
we're being seen as an expert, or at least good enough to provide somebody else. Hey, oh, Sebastian went away, and there he is. Yeah, so I was saying that it's cool that we were able to provide uh, enough information to other people to help them do this thing that we've been doing for almost 2 years now.
I agree. That's amazing. I'm really happy that she wants help with it.
I am
It's,
too.
yeah.
I'm really happy that she's going to share some valuable information, because Lord knows we need more teachers out there, right?
Yes, we do.
Even if it's on the in the public's or private level versus public level, because public education systems need to be reformed, I think, revamped from the ground up. And not to knock anybody
Absolutely.
who works in public education systems. Like, God bless you all for doing that, because that is such a valuable job and we need it so badly. But I think that the systems in general, we need to change the way that they operate, especially from a Christian worldview, because I just think that kids learn way too many bad things in public school systems. Would you
I
agree?
agree with that, and I also think that parents need to be disciplining their children at a higher level than what's going on now because it's so hard for teachers to want to go and deal with what they have to deal with every single day because the kids don't want to listen, they want to act out, they want to be cool,
Yeah,
and it's really absurd the way that the teachers get treated by the students.
yeah, it's
And it's
bad.
like you're not even my damn kid, dude. Like
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's hard for a teacher, for someone to be a teacher in this day and age. I think it's incredibly hard because
it
of what
is.
they're dealing with the kids and the level of respect that they have for their teacher and just the way that they carry themselves is not like a gentleman or like a woman. It's very difficult to deal with what they have to deal with every single day. So I think the school systems need to change. I think the kids need to be disciplined more. They need to have more respect for their teacher and for their learning. You might not like it. I didn't like that crap either, but you know,
Right.
who
But
does? You know,
let's
nobody
pause there
does.
for a second and analyze why you didn't like it.
It wasn't fun. You know, if I had some teachers that would make it fun and exciting, and then that's when I really it piques my interest and it gets me going. When you
Okay.
can make the lessons more exciting, kind of like what you're doing with the book when you're talking about let's
The
do
journey.
something Disney themed, let's do something samurai themed, let's do something princess themed or whatever. You make it more exciting and you're also appealing to excuse me, you're appealing to what somebody likes more, and
Hey,
you're piquing their interest with something that they already like. So therefore, it's making it more interesting for them to learn because they can relate it to something that they love.
hey, I appreciate you putting a plug in for our content, but you just let the cat out of the bag. We're supposed to keep it hush hush, secret until confidential until we release it. So they'll come take our
It's all
idea.
just speculation. It's all just ideas. We're just throwing things out there. We don't. There's no cat out of any bag. There's like we don't know what we're gonna. Who knows what we're gonna do?
That's
And
hilarious.
how can your enemy be three steps
Backpedal,
ahead of
quick.
you if you don't even know your next move?
Can we rewind? Can we get a rewind here, please? Sebastian, we're
Oh
live. We
gosh.
can't rewind, buddy. Oh, that was
Oops.
good, man. That's good. But anyways, it's okay because we're giving away this content for free. This life coaching course that we're creating in the book, we're giving it away 100% for free because I feel like you have to give like the Bible says you're supposed to give 10% of your tithing, right? And you have to go above and beyond that and give offerings. So I feel like with us giving this offering out, it's part of our volunteer service. Like Sebastian and I have been volunteering with the church in different capacities for years. And we love it. And we absolutely love
Yep.
it. We feel like we get blessings from God, which we do all the time because of the way that we live our lives to honor God. And so giving, volunteering is one way to do that. So this program, this thing that we're creating is going to be for free because it's our volunteering gift to God to serve our brothers and sisters out there.
Exactly.
So anyway, it's okay if they want to go ahead and take the idea, but we do want to get credit for creating it though, right, Sebastian?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
We gotta get it out there quick. So by the way, I wanted to talk to you about that. Like I have so I have some notes down so that we can go to get a list of the people that I think we should send manuscripts to. There's a term for it that when you send a rough draft of your manuscript out to people of influence, like I've been trying to connect with a bunch of other Christian podcasters like us, Christian podcasters, so that maybe we could do an interview with them. They can interview us, we can interview them, and share the information about the book when it comes out so they would get more exposure to people. So we can give this, put it in the hands. And then also, check this out. I forgot that I got this a while back. This company here called Digipod, you can get your books like for like practically like $1 a piece, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we can create our manuscript, whatever they call that, to send out to the media
Yeah.
people for them to do a review for when before we actually go public with it.
I like it.
Yeah, so something to for us to have a conversation on later on. I wanted to share that with you. Got some great
Yeah.
ideas, man. And then there's something else I have to tell you about that. I was researching it about 2:30 in the morning this morning, and I can't wait. Something I learned about a decade ago, and I think it'll be a good way for us to get some publicity for this project. So I'll share that with you later on in private. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Post show, after the show.
I like it. I like it.
All right, so listen, I'm going to go ahead and hold up the exercise if you want to go ahead and go over that with the audience, okay?
Absolutely. All right. Let me pull this up real quick on my end.
Yeah, let me try to get this straight. I really need to figure out. See, I'm using a really old computer. This thing's like, I think it has Fred Flintstone on it. I think it's that old. It's like,
Oh,
Fred
man.
Flintstone.
Oh, you might want to tap on that phone before it. There you go.
I see that. So like this computer is like, if I try to open
We,
up my screen and do a screen share, it'll freeze and then we're done. So
it's
I'm not
it's
gonna
gonna
do.
be over.
It's
Yeah.
gonna.
No podcast.
I'm just gonna do things like very rudimentary here, and hey, at least it's a cell phone, right? And hold up the
Exactly.
exercises.
Eventually, we'll get the MacBooks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Eventually we'll be blessed.
I've never gotten rid of my old MacBook, but anyways, that was a
Yeah, me
2015
too,
model,
man.
so 9 years ago. That would be outdated anyways.
Yeah, we
So
need some 2024s.
are you ready to go through the exercises?
Let's do it. The
Okay.
physical tip of the day is called super strength. It's another circuit type of workout, except it's just basically you're not doing the levels 1 through however many, 1 through 3 or whatever, with 3 different sets in it. This is basically this one has 20 seconds of rest between sets. So you do the one workout, 20 seconds of rest, and you do the next workout. It looks like we have 9 different workouts for what's called a super strength workout from dareb.com. We have the first one being 10 goblet squats.
I feel
This
like
one
I'm
you can.
like Vanna White, like pointing out the the display.
um, This one, the goblet squats, I would say this guy is using a dumbbell in the exercise, which is great, or you can use a kettlebell as well. Either one of those will be good. And you're just going to do a squat. You're holding the weight right in front of you at your chest level, and you're performing actually the first. Okay, I understand now. So the first workout has 3 sets. So you're going to take 20 seconds of rest in between those. So you're going to do 10 goblet squats, holding the weight up above you in front of you at chest level. You're going
Okay.
to do 10 reps, 20-second rest, another 10 reps, 20-second rest, and another 10 reps, and then you're done with the first workout. The
And then you
next
go to
one that
this.
we Yep, the next one's going to be 10 side bends. So I believe this workout is going to be good for your obliques, for your general core strength. It's 10 reps and then 20 seconds of rest in between. You have 3 sets of it. So you do 10, 20-second rest, and then
Okay.
so on and so forth. The next workout we have is going to be 10 calf raises with this one.
Oh, I like
The
that one.
This one, yeah, you're going to be
You have to
holding the
stand on your
weights
tippy
on.
toes.
Yeah, just go on your tippy toes basically, and you want to keep the balance. And I would say even when you get on your tippy toes, hold it for a second or two
Yeah.
or three, and then you're really gonna feel your calves working more than just going up and
Oh,
down
I
really
feel the burn,
fast.
baby.
Oh yeah, you're gonna feel it. I would say yeah, hold that for a little bit,
Okay.
and you're gonna do 10 calf raises with that, 20
Okay.
second rest. Then you have another set, another rest, another set.
Okay.
Now we're going to be on the next exercise following this, which is 10 forward lunges. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure everybody knows what a lunge is. You're
Yep.
lunging forward. Sometimes you can lunge backwards. This one, they want you to lunge forward. Then
Yep.
take that foot back.
Do you
Then
put
go with the
your
next
does your
part.
knee when your knee goes down? Does it touch the ground?
It gets really close to touching the ground.
Okay, but you don't want to touch the ground.
I wouldn't touch the ground because then you're kind of
It's hard to get back
taking
up.
away the core strength. You're taking away the balancing part of it, which is working different parts of your muscles. Anything where you're doing something where you have to hold it for a long period of time, or something like this, you're going to activate different parts of muscles. Versus if I go and touch the knee on the ground, then that leg is kind of getting a rest. So you would think with the forward lunge, if this guy, which he is lunging with his left leg, most people like myself prior would assume that you're only working that left leg, but you really don't realize that you're getting a pretty good workout for the leg that's not lunging as well.
Okay.
So I wouldn't touch your knee to the ground with it. I would keep it elevated a tiny bit above the floor, and you're going to do 10 reps of that, take your break, and then you have 2 more sets.
Okay. And then
The
you go to the
next,
next one.
yes, the next one's going to be 10 bent over rows. With this one and the previous one, you have a dumbbell on each side of your
And you
hands.
just
This
squat
one,
forward.
it's
Lean
kind
forward.
of like you're going to go for an RDL. Yeah, you want to lean forward, push your butt out,
Yeah.
keep your back straight.
Okay.
Your hips and your butt are getting pushed out, and
Okay.
then you have a pretty good posture with that. Keep your back straight the whole time. Then you
Okay.
do the row.
All right. And then you do
And you
after
want to
that.
keep your knees slightly bent with this as well. Some people
Oh,
might
keep your
just
knees
do
bent.
it.
Okay, let's go
Yeah,
back.
even with RDO, some people do it completely straight legged. And you like with the RDL, for example, you're gonna feel the hamstrings working no matter what with your knees bent or straight. But
Mm.
I believe like the best practice is to keep your knees
It's
bent
probably
a
safer
little
for your
bit.
back.
I would say safer for your knees, your back, all of that. Yeah, you definitely
Okay.
want to keep your knees bent a little bit. And
Okay.
as you can see in the picture, he kind of has a slight bend in his knees.
Yeah,
So
he does. Yeah, I can see
do
that.
that row. When you
Yeah.
get to the part where you're rowing, as you see in the second image of the guy, you want to
Yeah.
hold it for a little bit. That way you can really feel the squeeze in your muscles in the back. So
Okay. So when you
you,
lift up, go slow.
I would say there's something to be said about having tempo with the way that you lift. Sometimes people will just kind of jerk the weights around and you're just moving really fast. It's working. Yeah, it is working no matter what. But if you kind of do it a little bit more slower and controlled, doesn't have to be super slow, but I would say once you get to the part of the rep where you're bringing the dumbbells close to your chest, you're really squeezing the back muscles when you hold those weights right under your chest. When you
Okay.
hold it in that position, as you can see, like the two images of the guy, right? The weights are down below by his knees, then he lifts
Yes.
it up towards his chest. When you get to that second part of the motion for the rep, I would say you can hold that there for just a slight second. Some people say like there's different variations of everything, so you can do it without holding it or you can do it with holding it. I would say, when you hold that weight right below your chest, you're going to feel it more in your back. So
Okay.
I would just say like find the right tempo and yeah, hold it just for a little bit just so you can really squeeze the muscle right there. And you'll
Okay.
notice a difference if you hold it there and you squeeze that back, your lats and the muscles in between your lats. I need to get better at the anatomy of it, but I don't know what that muscle's called. But even like it can work your lower traps as well. Um, I would say
Okay.
definitely like just hold it for a little bit right there, and you'll notice a difference versus just going through the motion.
All right.
And
Let's go to the next one.
yep, the next one's going to be 10 deadlifts. So with dumbbells, it's going to be looking a little bit different than if you're deadlifting with a barbell and you have like the 45 pounds on the side or whatever weight you use. Just look at the image right here and basically mimic the image on the screen that my dad is showing you right now. All of these little guys are showing you exactly the form that you want to be using. This
Yep. So
one is
you're
kind of
just
like the bent
straightening
over.
your back.
Yeah, so keep the knees bent a little bit. Keep your back very straight, and you want to keep your hips and your butt pushed out. And so when you push that out, you keep your back straight as well. So just follow the image of what the guy is doing. He has the weights just below his knees. Go in there. That's the starting position. And then you're going to want to. Hmm?
Stand up straight.
Yeah, it looks like an RDL. Yeah. My girlfriend's saying it looks like RDL. It says deadlifts on here, but it's like the form that the guy was using in the picture. For
Yeah.
us, it really looks like an RDL because when we do RDLs,
What does
that's
RDL stand
basically
for?
it's a Romanian deadlift. So the
Oh.
RDL is for your hamstring.
Oh. Okay.
So deadlifts like work your legs. I think deadlifts is working. It's like a whole
You
body
guys had me
workout.
lost there for a second because you're like RDL. I'm like, what the heck is an RDL? I don't know what an RDL is. But
So
that's cool. That you just taught us Romanian deadlift. Okay.
yeah, that's what the RDL is
You
essentially
know, Romanians
because
know what it is. They're like, come on, you don't know what? Come on, you know it's an RDL. Come on.
for us looking at this image,
Uh
it
huh.
like I almost don't really want to call it a deadlift, and that's what my girlfriend's also mentioning to me as well when she looks at the picture because in the RDL, if you look at this guy, the picture of this guy, it looks exactly like an RDL because you don't put the weight on the ground with a deadlift, you put the weight back on the ground. And you start from a
Oh,
much
okay.
lower
So,
position. So they're calling it a deadlift on there.
but it's an RDL,
It really looks like an RDL to me
Romanian
and to
deadlift.
her.
Okay, cool. All right.
Because with that, you keep the tension the whole time. You don't ever let go of the weight and drop it on the bottom.
Okay.
So this has deadlifts. I'm going to call that RDL. I'm sorry,
Okay.
DRB.com.
We're with you, man. Let's go to the next one.
The next one, it looks like we have 10 bicep curls. So just like the picture, a weight on both hands and just follow the image. The guy, look at the left one, look at the right
I
one.
can't tell if his knees are bent. Are his knees bent?
It doesn't look like his knees are bent in this one. I would say you can do a slight bend in the knees with this one. I
Okay,
wouldn't
slide bend.
always like,
So
yeah,
this is
any
very
workouts like this,
self-explanatory. You just curl the weight, right? Just right.
curl the weight, and I would say with your pinkies, try to
Yeah.
turn your pinkies inward a little bit when you're
Oh,
curling that dumbbell because it's going to activate the part of your bicep where you see that little indent. You know what I mean? When people have really defined biceps and you can see an indent when they're flexing, the part
okay.
of the bicep closer to the elbow. I don't know what it's called because I'm not a scientist with this stuff yet. I will be one day, but I don't know what that muscle exactly, what part of the bicep that's called or associated with. But
Okay.
when you look at somebody muscular, you can tell there's a little indent in the part of their bicep that's closest to their elbow, right?
Yeah.
So that you get that more defined by turning your pinkies inward a little bit.
All
So
right, man.
instead
This
of
is
just
getting me
curling
excited. I
the,
want to go to the gym now. Okay,
yeah,
let's
right?
let's go to the next one. We're
The
gonna.
next one, we have 10 sets of push-ups, and the guy has weights on the floor. You hold in the weight, and you're doing a push-up. The type of push-up that he's doing is more of a close grip push-up. You're going to work more of your triceps when you're doing this
Yeah.
push-up.
It's like a military push-up.
It looks like exactly like a military push-up.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
your
You keep
hands are
the
really
arms
close to your
close.
chest, or close to each other. They're not spread out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with this one, you're going to put more emphasis on your triceps. So
Okay.
I like this one a lot. It's different than a wide grip push up. You're doing more of that, building that wide chest.
Yep.
This one is a close grip push up.
Okay.
So same thing like the other ones, 10 reps, 3 sets of that. Take your rest in between. And then finally, we have
The
the
last
last the
one.
last
Ooh.
workout.
Wow. It's
10
called
renegade
Renegade.
rows.
Ooh.
It looks like a renegade workout, right? It looks
I like it.
It looks definitely like a renegade. I don't know what else to call that. That's exactly what it looks like. You're basically in a plank position,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna do a row with each arm. And
Oh, I
so
love it.
while you're rowing with one arm, you have
You're planking.
constant
I like it because
tension.
it's more active. Because like plank is kind of boring. You're just standing there for like a minute or whatever. I do a
Yeah,
minute plank, 60 seconds. You know,
it
but
can
this one's
be
like it's more
boring.
active. You know, more fun.
It is definitely more fun. It's more exciting, and it's also brings up intensity as well. Planks are intense, like no matter what. And then when you're doing a row in between, while you're rowing with one arm, so you're putting that pressure on your back, on your lat muscles. You're putting the pressure on working your lat muscle, but that
Yeah.
other arm that's staying there, you're working your stabilizer muscles because that's holding you in place in that plank position. So your shoulders, your arms, you're going to be on fire doing
Yeah,
that.
it,
Like,
it looks it's cool, man. All right, so let me zoom back out. So these are
yep,
9 exercises, and you can get this if you go to at the Entrefluential Life on Instagram. You can download this. I'm going to share it after the podcast. We'll go ahead and upload these to the podcast. I mean, to the Instagram page, so you can access it. And it's also searchable
yes,
on Pinterest because that's where we got it from. Thank you,
that's
Darren
right.
B.
Thank you, DRB.
And
Thank you,
these are
Pinterest,
great
for putting that information
calisthenic,
out there.
right? Awesome, man. Good job
Yeah,
for sharing these.
it's like a calisthenic workout with some weights, with some free weights added to it,
I
and
like that they add the weights to it.
it's adding another element. It's definitely adding another
Absolutely, it's
element to the
gonna make
calisthenics.
your workout way better. And then the person who created those, like, I love the colors, the black and the red and the white. It's cool. It
Yes,
pops. The red really
it
pops.
does.
So cool. All right, what's our mental tip of the day?
Our mental tip of the day, I'm gonna pull that up for you guys. It looks like we have another quote. It says, "Your current situation is not your final destination." So
Yes.
I like that a lot. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it too, man. And that one is also from Pinterest, and the picture is pretty too, right?
It is. It's a nice picture to go with it, and it's a
Yeah.
great message that, you might be in a tough time right now, but that's not the destination. That's just part of the journey. And
Yeah.
you definitely have to use that with your mindset, with the fact that when you're in that tough time, also don't forget that you have God on your side as well. You're not just there alone. You have God with you always, wherever you go. Even though I walk
100%.
through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for the Lord is with me.
Yep.
So,
Yep. And,
it's a
and
great. Hmm?
yeah, no. I go ahead. I agree
Yeah,
100%.
no, it's a great quote. I like that, and I also wanted to share another one as well. I have from my motivation app, but just like I get reminders
Go.
from it all day, and this
Yes.
one I kind of feel like it kind of ties with it a little bit. It says it's by Zayn Malik actually, and it says, "There comes a day when you realize turning the page is the best feeling in the world because you realize there's so much more to the book than the page that you were stuck on."
Can you read that one again? Because I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't send Sebastian the keys for the Living the 66 books.
It's okay. It says, "There comes a day when you realize turning the page is the best feeling in the world because you realize there's so much more to the book than the page that you were stuck on."
Yes, absolutely, man. I know. Um, that is really, it's really valuable, because sometimes we think that whatever we're going through is all that there is, because it feels so heavy and so intense. We get stuck
Yes.
on like on the one situation, and I think emotions has a big part to play in that game, and it's like
Yeah,
Spock.
absolutely.
You have to be like Spock sometimes, and let your logic overpower your emotions, right? So that you're not a slave to your
Absolutely.
emotions. Your emotions can, they're useful. I mean, obviously they're useful for expressing love, and they're useful for engaging you in fear so that you can protect yourself. It's a protective mechanism. So there are good uses out of it, but it also can be enslaving, right? Your emotions can trap you, just like what you're talking about. You can get trapped in an idea. Your emotions are talking to
Yep.
you, telling you something that could potentially be not even true. And especially when your emotions are leaked in with a false idea in your mind. You can tell yourself a story in your mind that's not even true.
Exactly.
You can think that other people are talking about you and they're not even thinking about you. And so you freeze yourself in
Yes.
fear or anger or worry or doubt, thinking that something bad is going to happen that's not even anywhere in the remote area of happening, but your mind is telling you it is. And so you go through this imaginative trip and punish yourself because your emotions are attached to those ideas. So once you become aware of it, like you're talking about, when you zoom out, when you look at the whole book instead of the one page,
Yep.
that, oh no, whoops, sorry about that. You know, it gives you freedom, it gives you clarity, and it gives you freedom to reclaim your power.
100%. 100%. Especially if, like myself, where you get in a tough situation and you think so much on, oh, I've learned this lesson so many times. I should have known better by now, and then I could have done this, and I should have, could have, would have, and
Oh
all
my
of that.
god.
What if I did this better? And you
Yeah.
can really trap yourself in your mind with those negative thoughts for so long, and
Yeah.
you don't understand the situation fully. It's hard, but
Mhm.
the understanding part is that okay, this is what happened. I am feeling these emotions right now. I kind of have to just take myself back and watch the emotions come and go like it's flowing in a river.
you know
And
that's awesome. Yeah. If you
yeah, and then
reverse
you can be
engineer every
present.
problem that you go through, you could probably figure out how to avoid it the next time around.
And 100%, 100%. Like, don't stay stuck on the past. And like, it's like the kind of like what I take from that. It's like the page that you're stuck on. Once you turn that page, you realize there's so much more to the book than that. There's so much more to your life than just that one mistake. There's so much more to you as a person than that mistake. That mistake doesn't define you. Your
I,
actions define you. What's next? Okay, that might have happened, but let's keep going. What can I do now?
I
What
love
can I
that.
do now? What can I fix now? Okay, this is the problem. Let's find a solution.
Mhm.
And even if there isn't a solution to that, and you have to turn the page from that and let it go and let go of that chapter of your life and move on to something better, because that's probably what God is prepping you for. You might have had something really bad happen to you, or whatever the case may be, and you're so stuck on that past, you're so stuck on that place that you were at before. Maybe God wants you in a different place. Maybe he's actually working right now in your life and you don't really realize, but the chess pieces are getting put in their proper position to set you up for the next level. And
Yeah,
maybe
well,
your self-doubt might prevent you from thinking that you're ready for that next level, but he's getting you ready. You just don't see it yet.
and then here's the thing, like from what I've experienced and what I've heard is that in life we go through the same problems over and over again until we learn the lesson that we're
Yes.
supposed to learn. God is going to let us keep replaying that because
Yes.
it's like the parable of the pot maker, the clay maker, right? He had this lump of clay and he's spinning it around on the plate and he's spinning and
Yep.
spinning and he's molding it into this vase, right? And so he's got to spin it and he's got to move it, he's got to shape it over and over and over and over again until he gets it just right. Well, that's what God's doing with us. And so you're going to keep spinning
Exactly.
around and around until you figure out what that lesson is, and then transcend your situation.
Yeah, because you might have thought that you might have learned a lesson and you might have really not gotten the bigger picture. And so God's gonna put you right back in there because it's like, hey buddy,
Yeah.
come over here. You need to
Yeah.
come back and you need to do this again and
Yeah.
again and again and
Yes.
again until you
Yes.
get the point of what I'm trying to show you.
That's
And
right.
then when you finally make that realization,
Yeah.
and then you can move past that and transcend past that
Yep.
blockage in your life. Like you finally learned that lesson. Sometimes you got to get humbled repeatedly until
Until
you
you
can
learn
learn
it.
the lesson that he wants you to learn. You might think like, oh, okay, I got it this time. Yeah, now next time I'll be better. Then you make the same mistake again. It's
Yeah.
like,
I
okay,
mean,
here you go.
you gotta be fluid.
Yes, you got to be fluid, and that's all there is to it. Like sometimes you have to go through that same life lesson numerous times until you finally get the point,
Yeah.
and then you make the change. Like, okay, you know what? This didn't work for me, and then I did it again, and then it didn't work again. And guess what? I'm back in the same situation, and then I do the same thing again. And it's like, wow, how am I not learning from this? How am I not how am I in this situation again? I just went through it. I already went through it. I've already sacrificed, God. Like I've already gone through this multiple times. Why are you putting me in this situation again? And
Yeah.
it's like, because my son or my daughter, you
Yeah.
didn't really change.
You haven't learned the lesson yet.
You haven't learned the lesson. You haven't changed
Yeah.
yet. And then when you make the change, okay, you know what? It didn't work my way multiple times, so let me do it your way this time.
Yep. Yep.
Just like when your parents are teaching the child, like, okay, kid wants to do what they want to do and rebel. And
Yep.
sometimes you should have listened to the parent. Or sometimes my girl will tell me something. I'm like, oh, no, 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 it's okay. I'll worry about it later or whatever. And then comes, and I'm like, damn, I really should have listened to you because you were right all along. And I'm like, I want to be stubborn. I'm like, no, my way, my way, my way.
I
Sometimes
know.
it's not always going to be your way.
Yeah.
And this one, this Pope, I believe, he was an exorcist, actually, that we watched a YouTube. He's a what? He's an exorcist and he's a preacher. And
Okay.
so we're watching an interview with him, and he was Father Dan Rehill is his name.
Uh-huh.
And it was essentially, well, honestly, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of just hit a blank point in my mind. But you just have to really look at what he's trying to teach you, and you might be making the wrong choice over and over again until you just make the realization, like, okay, it's time to stop doing it my way. Okay, he said that when you start your day, if you're in a business or whatever it is, when you start your day and you pray to God and you thank him for the gift of a new day and for new opportunities, and you say, you know what, instead of trying to get everything to go my way today and trying to control my day, because you can't possibly have control over what life can throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
And even if one little thing, if you're a person with routine and one little thing stops that routine from one thing that you were going to do today, their whole day crumbles. And so when you wake up and you pray and you're thankful for the new day and you say, you know what, God, today I'm going to put my day in your hands. I'm
I
going to
like
put my
that.
day in your hands and see what you're going to do with it. And I'm just going to take a step back and let you guide me. And I'm going to do what I need to do when you need me to. I'll let you guide my day. And Father Dan Riho was saying he's going to wrap that day up, and it's going to be wrapped up so cleanly and perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better than what we could have done ourselves throughout the
Right.
day, trying to control the day. When you let
Right.
him have the control
Yeah.
and you bow down to his will, and his
Mm-hmm.
will is for your best interest,
Yeah.
he's going to wrap your day up in such a way that you could not have done that yourself.
Yeah. I think the key takeaway there is do plan your work, right? Plan your work and work your
Yep.
plan, but be fluid, be
Yes.
flexible
Be
to go
fluid.
with the nudges that God gives you so that you can still be in alignment with his will.
Exactly. Just like Bruce Lee would say in his speeches or his interviews, be like water, my friend.
Yep. Be the
You
river.
pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup.
I love that. I was thinking of Bruce Lee before you even said that. That's who I was
Wow.
envisioning. So we're on the same we're in the same frequency, Sebastian.
Yes, we are. You got to be fluid. God has plans
Yeah.
for you, and
Yeah.
sometimes you might try to hold on to something that's not part of His plans for you, and you have to be fluid. Like have your plan for the day, like you said. Yeah, these are my to-do list for the day, and maybe if I don't get to that at 5 o'clock like I want to, I'll get it to at 8:30 after the podcast or something, or whatever it is. You got to be flexible and be like water, just flow.
It is the best way to live your life, 100%. Like the sooner you can realize that and apply it in your life, the better off you're going to be, 1000%.
Oh yeah,
But
exactly.
continue to plan, but be flexible. Go with the
Yeah,
flow,
exactly. Have it
right?
because you
Live
don't
the
want to not
present
have a
moment. I mean,
plan.
you can have all these great plans, but you got to live for today.
Exactly.
You
Be in the
got to get
moment.
today done, right?
Yes,
So important. Okay. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and dive into the spiritual tip of the day. Is that cool?
absolutely.
Okay. I'm so sorry I didn't send you the pictures for the keys, man.
It's okay.
My mistake. I'll have to read it. All right. So we are in Living the 66 Books of the Bible. This is like our built-in Bible study. It's called the spiritual tip of the day, right? We do physical, mental, and spiritual tips of the day. This is from a summary of the book of Zephaniah.
Oh,
All right, Zephaniah. It's a cool name, right? I love this picture. Look how
absolutely.
pretty the artwork is in this. I
It
love
reminds me of Great Gatsby so much.
the covers.
Yep.
So just well done
Elegant.
job, man. Dr. Jeremiah just knocked it out of the park with this one.
He hit a home run with that book.
Letter, the
Everything
T
about
there. Look
it.
how pretty that is.
I know. I love it. It's like
It's so cool. So it's like
calligraphy.
show and tell. I feel like I'm a teacher again. I'm reading to elementary school students. Which I was in law school. That's what I did. Like I would go sub. I'll go to the media center because I love picking up those shifts. Like whenever the media person, the librarian will call in. You know, when I was a kid, we used to call them librarians. But when I was
Yep.
subbing, they were called media specialists.
Oh
Anyways, I would
gosh, yeah. Now they call it the
volunteers.
media center instead of the library. What's going on?
Well, you know, because they brought computers in, so now they got to call it a media center.
Oh, right. All the
So
technology.
yeah, man, technology. But you know, there's pros and cons to that. But anyways, they still had a carpet, and we still had a little rocking chair, and I would sit in the
Yeah.
rocking chair and read stories to the kids. And so this kind of reminds me of doing that. I love it. Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. And I really love making Thanksgiving cards for the kids. You know,
Oh,
you put your hand on a piece of paper, and then you turn it into a turkey.
you turn your hand into a turkey. Yup.
Yeah, some people know what I'm talking about. Or, you know, you could draw 3 circles and make a snowman at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's the little things that matter. All
That's
right,
right.
Zephaniah. The world won't go on forever, for God has already appointed its last day. That's the message of Zephaniah. The bulk of the book is a warning for people to repent of their sins and seek God with all their heart. Boy, do we need that today. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hastens quickly. A day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of devastation and desolation. Zephaniah warned the people to seek righteousness, seek humility. It may be that you will be hidden in the day of the Lord's anger. The last chapter ends with an exhortation for those who know the Lord. Let's rejoice in the coming day, for God's purposes will prevail for his children. Sing, O daughter of Zion. We're told the Lord is in the midst of his people, singing over them and quieting their troubled hearts with his own nearness. I love that. That's basically saying that the Holy Spirit, when you give your life to Christ, the Holy Spirit comes and lives inside of you and gives you peace. And I can tell you
Yes.
100% that is 100% true for me. I mean, yeah, you're going to have rocky days for sure, but they're so few and far between that you can almost write it off. Like it's
Yep.
not even worth talking about, right? Like I'll have a bad
Right.
day and then I'm back to normal again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I think back to like 15 years ago, before like I don't know, 16 years ago, before like I started living a devout, not a perfect life, but more devout, I remember like, man, everything was a freaking roller coaster ride, up and down. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. So here's the second part of it. In an immediate sense, Zephaniah was referring to the Babylonian invasion, but his teachings have their ultimate fulfillment in the days related to the return of Jesus Christ. The end of the world has never been closer. We're living in the last days. That so many of us agree on. So many Christians believe that these are the last days. We don't know how long the last days are going to last. I mean, it could be 20 years, it could be 10 years, it could be a week, it could be a day, or it could be 50 years or 100 years. We don't know. But the things that we're seeing that are taking place in the world are signs that we're in the last days, whatever that period is. So
Hmm.
it if you're not right with God, it should give you pause. It should give you fear. But if you are right with God, it should give you joy, because you know that the world is
Yes.
going to be reinvented, and we're going to be living again in our new bodies like Jesus that can travel anywhere, go through walls. Like, it's just going to be amazing, because you're going to have a physical body that you can touch things with, but then you can also go from one place to another very quickly, which is amazing, right? And just the fact
Yeah.
that you don't have no more tears, like, just to go back to what Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, that's what's going to happen again, which is really amazing, and kind of a little bit
Yes.
far away from where we're at. But basically, it would be so awesome to live in a world that does not have evil like the evil that we see in this world today.
That's right.
The end of the world has never been closer. We're living in the last days. The unsaved should look at the future with concern and seek the Savior. Those of us who know him anticipate our upcoming prospects, right? Like being able to see people that have passed on and reconnecting with your loved ones. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We can rejoice in the love of a God who sings over us and who is ready to welcome us into his eternal, that's a huge word, eternal kingdom. People don't think so much about, I mean, if you think about 100 years, I'm at age 50 this year, right? Half my life is over, man. It goes by so fast. And if you think about all the people that have lived on the earth, right now there's about 6 billion people on the earth. And every 100 years, another 6 billion come and go. And so if the world's been around for 15,000 years, think 15,000 years, divide that by 100, and then multiply that times 6 billion. And it wasn't that many, but you get the idea, right? There's
Yeah.
billions of people that have traveled through this journey that we call life, and are already on the other side. And we get to reconnect with so many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, especially back in the old days. Because like if you go back to 1980s, like 80% of my community would go to church, and now it's like 20%. Like,
It's a
I
big
believe that
difference.
I believe that heaven is going to be very occupied because of the way that humanity was for the last 15,000 years up until the 20th century. Things have gone really
Yeah.
crazy since the 20th century. Anyway, I just think it's going to be really amazing to connect with people like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Benjamin Franklin, have conversations with Moses and David and whoever else is going to be there from the greats like Joseph. I mean, Joseph and Mary. And just so many people. Paul,
That's right.
Peter. I mean, it's just I could go on and on, man. There's so many people I just can't wait to talk to. Maybe Elvis is going to be there. I would love to meet Elvis. You know what I mean? I have a feeling he's going
Yeah.
to be there because he used to love singing gospel music, right? So I believe his
Yep.
heart was always in a good place. All right, you have an inheritance awaiting you. All you have to do is accept the gift of grace, the gift of salvation, to access heaven for eternity. And it's so all very simple. I mean, if you look at the life of Jesus, he was the ultimate pilgrim. He served mankind. He served everybody that I mean, not everybody, but everybody that he touched, he healed, right? And everybody that he encountered them with love. Even the people that persecuted him, the ones that hung him on a cross and killed him, he prayed for forgiveness for them. He said, "Forgive them,
Yes,
Father, for
that's
they
right.
know not what they do." They mock that in movies, okay? They do mock that line in movies, which is not a good idea. If we're right, that's not a good thing to do. You don't want to be on the wrong side of
Yeah.
God. The person who he's not a person, he's a spirit. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the spirit who created the world, the universe.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So like, you shouldn't mock him. Those words are actually humbling. You know what I mean?
That's
They're
right.
humbling. So, anyways, if you look at his life, even if we're totally wrong, just by emulating his life, you're making the world a better place. If everybody just acted like that, right? Selfless, and
Yeah.
serving others.
Selfless. Yeah.
I mean, wow, the world would be perfect. It really would. Anyway, the key theme of Zephaniah is rejoice in the love of a God who rejoices over you in song. So that's amazing. Like if God is singing a praise song because he's happy that you committed to living a life in honor of him, because that's what it is. That's what glory means. It means the highest honor. So if you live a life that's honorable to him, like in other words, if you're a good person, you're doing good things because you want to please God, he
Yeah.
sings songs of joy over you. Think about a child. who makes their parent happy,
Yeah.
right? Right? A child who makes their parent, Daddy, Mommy, I came home. You come home and Mommy, Daddy, I got an A on my science test. That makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so if you came home and you said, God, Abba, which he tells us to call him Abba, which means father, like in the way that a child would say daddy or
Yep.
papa. Okay. And he says, he wants you to have that same kind of love like a child. And you want to come and you say, oh, I did something good, right? For my neighbor today. I helped them fix their tire. I helped them carry the groceries in, for the senior citizen that
Yep.
has a hard time making it from the car to the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of good deeds that God gets happy to see us do. We need more of that.
Absolutely.
All right. So the key challenge, right, is live fully in the love of God who brings peace to your troubled mind with his comforting presence.
Yes.
The key verse is the Lord your God in your midst, the mighty one, will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. That means give you peace. And he will rejoice over you with singing. That's a beautiful thing. That right there is very comforting to me to know that God is singing over us when he's pleased with us. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
You don't think about that, like the creator of the world and the universe will sing over you when he's pleased with you. I love that. All
Me
right, the
too.
key prayer is, Lord, I praise you for your unfailing and unending love for me. You bring comfort and joy to my heart. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that wraps it up for the spiritual tip of the day. This is so awesome.
That was great.
So awesome. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, man. Love it. All right. So now I have the entrefluential tip of the day.
All right.
So for those of you who aren't aware of what the entrefluential tip is, we came up with, Sebastian and I came up with the entrefluential life because we wanted to combine entrepreneurship and influence, because influence is important. It's a form of marketing, right? And whatever business you have, you're not going to do well unless you have clients. And the way that you get clients is being influential. So we created the entrefluential life to teach people how to build their business up, to grow their business through influence, right? To be a positive light in the world, because we do it from a Christian worldview. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we have different components of business strategies, and one of those business strategies that we're talking about here in this segment, and we've been going over this for a few weeks, is network marketing. So, whatever your business is, let's say you're a dentist, or let's say that you're a personal fitness trainer. It doesn't matter what your business is. If you're a business owner, there's an opportunity for you, even if you're a one-man or one-woman shop, there's an opportunity for you to draw in affiliate income by being an influencer for certain products or services, right? We call them content creators, right? Influencers, content creators. We call people that are celebrities. We call them influential, and they have that celebrity power on a massive scale is also available on a very minor scale. And so by being a network marketer, with regardless of what your business is, you can you probably have heard of affiliate income. If you have not, network marketing is a cousin to affiliate marketing. Okay. Network marketing can be more powerful than affiliate marketing, because with affiliate marketing, you make connections. Basically, affiliate marketing is like being a commissioned sales agent. You get paid a
Yeah.
commission when you sell the thing that you're selling, product or service. Network marketing is kind of like the big cousin of affiliate marketing, because with affiliate marketing, let's say you go and you sign up to be an affiliate for Target, the store, Target.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that you promote a coffee pot from Target, right? Hey, get this French press coffee pot. And you put the affiliate link for that French press coffee pot in your blog, your social media post, your YouTube channel, whatever it is. You can, whenever somebody clicks on that link and buys the product, then you can get paid an affiliate commission for referring that coffee pot, to the audience. Well, with network marketing, you can do the same thing for a company. You can become an affiliate and sell and get a commission for the products that you're selling. So let's use, for example, protein powder. Let's say I sign up with a company to sell protein powder. I'm using the protein powder. I'm telling people about it. And if you go and you click on the link that I provide to you, I earn a commission for that sell of that protein powder. But with network marketing, what if I was to create a relationship with 100 people that are doing the same exact thing as I'm doing? Right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So now 100. How many more sales could you possibly get if you have 100 people doing the same thing for you that you could do by yourself?
Exactly.
Right? You 100x your potential, right? So
Yeah.
that's the power behind network marketing. And a lot of the big greats, they all use network marketing in order to grow their business rapidly. It's scale on a rapid frequency, a rapid basis because of the reach. And reach means expansive. Put your hands out over here, put your hand out over there. You know, the more reach you have, the faster you can grow. So anyway, so with that background in mind, last week we talked about how to attract people, different ways to attract people into your sphere of influence. Now, when I say sphere of influence, I want you to think of 3 different circles, right? You have an inner circle, a medium circle, and an outer circle. And the outer circle, this is the first time when somebody comes into your sphere to get to know who you are. They don't know who you are yet, but they hear about you, they see you for the very first time, and so they go into the outer circle. They're called cold traffic. What you want to do is you want to take them from the outer circle into an inner circle where they get to know you better, where you connect with each other. And then you want to move them into an even closer circle where you have a close relationship with them. And they're really advocates for who you are, what you do. They're going to promote you without you asking for it because they're going to appreciate you all the more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So last week we talked about how to get people into the outer circle, like to get to know who you are. They don't know who you are yet, but now they're starting to see who you are. That's the outer circle. Now you want to nurture them to get you a little bit closer, to pull you in a little bit closer, the audience, your ideal client avatar, your ICA. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you 15 different strategies to build trust. Okay, the way that you pull people in is by building trust. So here's the introduction for this section called Building Trust. Build trust. Converting warm prospects into clients involves building trust, demonstrating value, and addressing their specific needs. Here are 15 tactical methods to help you achieve this. Number 1, personalized communication. So a few episodes back, we talked about, I think it was 12 different archetypes of people, personality types that you can connect with. And if you create a brand message for all 12 or 13 of those archetypes, that's personalizing the communication. And to give you a quick illustration of the difference of personality types, let me ask you a question. Sebastian, would you, if you're a cowboy and you love horses and you love wearing cowboy boots and you love wearing a cowboy hat and a big buckle, rodeo buckle, would you be more interested in speaking to somebody who's a complete stranger, who's wearing a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, cowboy buckle, listening to cowboy country music, or would you rather listen to somebody who maybe is dressed in, they look like Bruce Lee, okay? They're wearing Asian, Oriental clothes, Asian clothes.
I'd say if I'm a cowboy and see somebody talking to me that's a stranger that looks like me, then I'd want to talk to them.
Right. So you're more comfortable. So like there's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. People are generally more comfortable dealing with a person that reminds them of themselves. Okay. So like
exactly.
Right. So like another analogy would be like compare a New Yorker, New York City, fast talking, fast paced, quick thinking. Take that person and put that quick thinker in a small town like Palaca, Florida. Okay. Or like West Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you think they're going to be a match?
Probably not.
No, they're pretty strange. I mean, they might be interested in learning about each other, but they're going to be, they're not going to trust each other. Okay, they're going to have doubts. It's going to be difficult for them to build rapport. So
Yeah.
so think about 13 different personality types and creating a message for each one of them so that you can resonate. In other words, speak their language. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Speak their language. Approach them the way that they want to be approached. So tailor your messages and your interactions to each prospect's needs and preferences. Show that
Right.
you understand their unique challenges. That means be able to solve their problem. Okay?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Okay, number 2, educate and inform. Provide valuable content that addresses their pain points. What problems do you solve? Share information like articles, case studies, webinars that
Yeah.
educates them and informs them about how you can solve their problem. Number 3, social proof. Share success stories, testimonials, and reviews from satisfied clients. This social proof can instill confidence in your prospects. Basically, everybody is going to do a little bit of research, right? It's called due diligence, and
Yep.
you're gonna vet, right? Vet the content that you're checking out, exploring before you make a purchasing decision, right? You wouldn't
That's
go to a
right.
hotel in another city without checking the reviews, looking at the pictures, seeing where it is in proximity to where you're going in that new town,
Yeah.
right? So the same
That's
thing
right.
is applicable to products and services. Before somebody's going to hire you to be a personal trainer for them, they're going to look and see what you've done in the past. What kind of person are you before they make that decision? So by
Yeah.
giving them some social proof, like, hey, check out Sebastian. He's one of my best clients. And Sebastian comes on and says, I love John. John's the best personal trainer I've ever had. People who can relate to Sebastian are going to believe him. And then they're going to immediately give me more confidence, right? More trust than if they
Yeah.
never heard the review from Sebastian. So that's how testimonials can come in handy in order to bridge the gap between not knowing who you are and taking a chance on you.
It's also good to have that those testimonials are just showing like when you're wanting to try somebody new as a coach for whatever reason, whatever type of field, and you see that they've done successful work for other people, that just solidifies you
Yeah.
wanting to work with them even more. If I see a restaurant has 5 stars, that's solidifying me wanting to go out to eat there and knowing that they're gonna and trusting that they're gonna provide me a good service and good food. Bless you.
Yeah.
And versus going to a restaurant that has 1.5 stars. If I look on that and I look on Google and I see that they're 1.5 stars and this other place is like 4 or 5,
Yep.
then I'm gonna go with the higher
Yep.
rating place because I want to have a better service.
Absolutely. It's a process of elimination. And basically, just like in law, we stack things up, right? We weigh things out. And so
Yep,
like you're eliminating the bad ones and you're stacking up in favor of the one that you're going to eventually choose, right?
exactly.
It's a decision paradigm and you're just building up towards making that final yes or no decision.
That's right.
So it is so helpful. Thank you for sharing that, Sebastian. That's great insight on how people make their decisions and how you can use it to your advantage as a business owner. So
Yeah,
number 4 is offer free consultations or trials, kind of like what you were saying. Like, people if they have if they can get an idea of what your services are like, they're more willing to give it a test, right? To give it a try.
that's right.
So if you make the decision easier for them, like, hey, I'll give you a free trial. Are you going to download that app? Most likely you
Yeah,
are.
if it's free trial,
Yeah,
absolutely. Now they're
because
more
your
willing to
risk
give it a
went down,
shot.
right?
Yeah,
I mean, now if I said, hey, you can test out my app for 30 days, but you got to pay me $250.
it's less likely that's going to happen if you're on the fence about trying something out. If you can get a free trial, now I can
Yeah,
try
it's
it out
much
for
less likely
free.
because you just put a barrier in between. Like, hey, man, that's a lot of money, $250, you know?
Yeah,
And then you start thinking about how else you could spend that $250, right? You start doing a cost benefit analysis, right? It's
exactly.
amazing how much thoughts that we go through in a very quick period of time. We don't think about it. We just think it, right? Subconsciously. Your mind
Yes,
is a supercomputer processing all of this information. But yeah, these are the things that you go through before making a buying decision. You gotta think like your customer in order to be successful in your business.
that's right.
So offering a free consultation, like if you're just starting up, that's really the best time to do it. you don't have to continuously do it unless you want to do it for a special season. Like you could open up a a sample, like a sample trial period for 2 weeks or a week or whatever, once or twice a year, right? But then take it off the table. Don't keep it on your realm because if you just offer free offers all the time, you'll be working for free, just giving people free offers, right?
Exactly.
And you can't make a living that way. Who could? So if you're going to do free offers, do it at the very beginning of your startup because you need testimonials. So give people a taste of it and then let them come back and tell other people how great it was. Okay, that way you have proof of concept. But then take it off the table and don't bring it back in until you do like an annual or biannual launch, okay, or reintroduction to a new product or a service. That's the time when you do those free offers, when you're introducing something new. And you have to always be recreating yourself because if you're not constantly coming up with something new, then you're going to become a dinosaur. And look how that's working out for them. Not too well, right?
You don't want to go extinct. You don't want your business to go extinct.
That's right. All right. I'm going to try to pick up the pace here because I got 15 and we're on number 5. Number 5 is create a sense of urgency. Use limited time offers and promotions. Again, talking about the biannual or the annual release, that's creating a sense of urgency. If you don't sign up now, you're going to have to wait till next year in January to get it again, right? So it kind of puts a little pressure for them to take action now. If they can't do it, they just can't do it. But maybe they'll be even more interested next January to put that money aside and buy in when you open your doors to that opportunity on the next go round. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. It creates scarcity. Remember we talked about scarcity?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that leads people to wanting more.
Yep, exactly. Number 6 is overcome objections. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? Like if you can think about what people would object to before they object to it, then you can solve that before they even ask you. What about this?
Exactly.
What about that? So be proactive. Overcome objections. Number 7, build relationships using multiple contacts. So people think it's a one and done. Like you don't go to a person that you just met for the first time and say, hey, would you marry me?
Yeah.
That's creepy, right? No, you got to build a relationship up from like, hi, how are you doing? What's your name?
Right.
How long have you been coming to the gym? Is that how you start talking to Michaela?
Well, somewhat. Yeah, not necessarily, but in a way. Yeah,
Something like that.
I just started talking.
Along those lines, yeah. Definitely like, hey, you want to come to Florida with me? Like that wasn't your first conversation, right?
That was, if I had asked her if she wants to come to Florida with me because I have to leave in 4 days from the day I met her, I probably would not be with her today.
Yeah.
She would have been like, who is this weirdo?
Freak, creepy much?
Yeah, seriously.
Stranger danger.
I had to start small.
You got to take baby steps. So the same thing with building relationships is take multiple steps to build a relationship. You got to warm them up, right? You got to nurture them. And you do that with like starting off with like using a lead magnet. Then you get them into a discovery call, maybe multiple emails between the lead magnet and the discovery call. Then you get them into a discovery call or you invite them to come see you at a client appreciation event. Maybe you get a booth at an arts and crafts festival to showcase your product or your service, and you invite them to come. And let's say you make it like charitable. So you hire somebody to do face painting for kids, and you invite them to come and bring their kids for face painting at the Arts and Crafts Festival once a month, and you have swag bags and you give out goodies.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a good way to build and nurture that relationship. And then maybe you can get them into a meeting where you could talk about them using your product or your service. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you build the relationship. Number 8 is use multiple forms of communication. So we talk about omnipresent marketing, and that means being present everywhere that they could possibly see you at. So like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, those are social media channels. But then you've got direct mail. You could send them a piece of mail, right? Literature to their home. You could have phone calls. You could do emails. There's multiple ways. You can be on the radio.
On Google.
You can put an advertisement on Pandora, right? So that when they're like, what are the times that people would most likely listen to you on Pandora? Between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. when people are driving to work, and then 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. when they're driving home from work, right?
Yeah, and that's like probably the hit times, the major times that our people are probably listening to the radio or Pandora, and you can get your advertisement heard, or even just if you want to put it sporadically throughout the day and take a chance and invest smaller on that, invest more money on the big ticket hours of the day when they're driving to and from work, when they're off work, or at lunchtime between
Yeah.
12 and 2, and or even 11 and 2. And also, there's even other times of the day where maybe other people do different things for work, and sometimes they like to have a little bit of music in the background while they're working, or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. Like I'm kind of like that. I like to have a little bit of some background noise. It kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit more for me, especially if a certain song comes on. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go really hard because I like the song and it's really boosting my energy and my frequency's going up. And all of a sudden, they might hear your ad. Oh, let me screenshot this, or let me write this down, or whatever. Let me save this for later. And so when I'm off work or whatever they could be doing, maybe they're going to the gym at some point during the day. Some people, not everybody works that regular corporate 9 to 5 in today's world anymore. There's a
Yeah.
big difference in the way that the world is functioning and the way that people work. And
Yeah.
for people that don't work anymore, or whatever the case is, so I would say like highlight the big ticket hours of the day, spend more money on the advertisements for that, for the morning, for the afternoon when they're off work, and for lunchtime because they have their lunch break,
Okay.
if you're lucky. And like I don't get a lunch break, but for some people that do, I would say you advertise for that, and then you also have the other awkward hours in between during the day that somebody on a different schedule than you and they might be
Yeah.
listening to the radio. But definitely the big ticket hours, morning, evening, and I would say the lunchtime. That's like when more people are going to be tuned into the radio, and
Uh,
your advertisement can get heard. They might not have been looking for you, but they're
yeah.
listening to a station they liked and the advertisement came on. So many of them do.
Yeah.
Unless you pay for Pandora Premium, then you don't
Yeah.
get advertisements. So you gotta
Right.
hope that they don't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's like all they could have wanted something like what you have to offer and not really knowing where to look, or they weren't even looking. They were just listening to the radio, and then
Yeah.
you came on, and now a light bulb went off in their head because oh man, I've
Yeah.
actually was just thinking about this, and I
Right.
just saw this. I heard this ad.
That's where you get the buy-in. I mean, that's where you become okay. So the whole point of this is to reach top of mind awareness. We call it TOMA,
Yep.
top of mind awareness. Now imagine, like just like you said, oh, you're reading my mind. They're thinking about you. They're listening to you on the radio. Your advertisement just came on. Let's say you're on the way to the gym, right? Let's say you're driving down St. John's Bluff, okay, and you're heading to Planet Fitness, right?
Hmm.
And then you turn on Beach Boulevard. You just heard the advertisement pop up on the radio on Pandora, right? Which they're tracking you, okay? They they know your demographics or they know your times that you go to.
Yep.
What's the most frequent time that people go to the gym, right? And so they bet on that, and so they put the advertisement on at the time that people are going to the gym most frequently. And then when you hit Beach Boulevard, you see a billboard, okay, for $3,000 that you paid to have your protein powder on there,
Wow. Yep.
right? So I just heard you on the radio on Pandora, and now I see the billboard with your name on it. Okay, but let's go even one step further. You get out of your car and you're walking towards Planet Fitness, and you notice the bus sign has your sign on it too with the protein powder.
Right.
Okay, that's like those are the things. Those are the steps. That's the omnipresent marketing that builds top of mind awareness. And you have to do, as people like to say today, they like to say all the things. Well, as a business owner, that's how you need to do all the marketing if you want to win big. Like all those things actually do lead the client to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So number five was sorry, number eight was omnipresent marketing, multiple communication channels, so that you can stay on top of their radar. And it's like a tractor beam. You're pulling them in. Oh no, the Death Star is pulling us in. The Millennium Falcon's being pulled in.
Oh, take my money.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, number nine. I was just thinking, Luke, I am your father. Sebastian, I am your father. All right. So number nine is use competitive and three-tier pricing strategy. So competitive pricing, you need to find out who your competitive set is. You need to find out who are your three top competitors and what are they doing. What are they offering their prices at, and what's their product or service, and how do you compare to them? So you want to be competitive by knowing what they have and how can you make yours better than theirs, right? That's
Yeah.
called having a competitive advantage. So figure out how to make your product or service better than your top three competitors. And then
Yep.
three-tier pricing is, instead of having one price that fits only one clientele, have three different prices. You can have a low tier, a mid tier, and a higher end tier. So that the low tier is like an entry level package that people can get a taste of what you do, but they can't get the full package because they don't have the money to pay for it. But then the mid tier will be a little bit higher up. It's a little bit more benefits, a little bit more features for a little bit more money. So the people
Yeah.
that can afford it and they like what you're offering, they'll go ahead and buy the mid tier. And then the ones that can afford the top notch have a package available for them that has all the bells and whistles because there are a few people around that can afford to do that. So having three-tier pricing increases your ability to sell more products and services.
100%. If you look at the big brands that implement this very
Yeah.
effectively, it's just like Nike, for example. When I used to do soccer in high school, there would be the same cleat, the same type, like, um, gosh, the Mercurial Superfly or whatever, 7. And they would have three different versions of it. They'd have the most expensive one, which is kind of built like a sock, and that's the
Okay.
one that everybody wanted, and it had the better material, and apparently you're going to play a lot better at soccer if you have these cleats, which isn't true, but it's just just
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
that's what I used to
Market.
think, and I wanted my parents to get me the most expensive stuff. But anyways, there's no replacement for hard work. Regardless of that, they have the top of the line cleat that looks like a sock, and it fits like a glove. It's amazing. The material's amazing. Then they have the middle version that's kind of like that one, but it's also in between the cheaper. There was three different versions that would get released. And so you had the base model, which doesn't have all the bells and whistles and the material fabric of the cleat. And that's still the Mercurial Superfly. So if I have that, the other soccer kids are going to think I'm a G. They're going to think I'm cool because I have the Mercurial Superfly. And now I fit in with the cool soccer kids because I'm wearing the same cleats that they're wearing. Then
I
you have
love
the
that.
middle tier, which is a little bit more money and looks a little bit nicer. And then you have the high end one, and so now you're going to be walking around those high end cleats, and all the kids are going to be envious of you and jealous that you got Ronaldo's signature cleat and nobody else has that one. And so it's like they make the three different price points of the models to fit. Maybe your parent can't afford the super top of the line $200 cleat, but maybe they can afford the $90 one, or maybe they can afford the one for 150. And those are built a little bit better. They all perform good. They all have a good material. They're not going to rip on you or nothing. And they have three different price points because they're trying to appeal to a bigger market.
And let me give you that. That's a great illustration. That's a great um, example that you provided. And I'll give you one more too. I believe that Old Navy, um, Banana Republic, and there's one more. I can't think of the name of it right now. The Gap. They're all the same
Yeah.
company. They're all owned by the same parent company, right? And they appeal to three different price tiers. Old Navy is the low end, right?
Yep.
Most affordable. Let's say it like that. Old Navy is most affordable. The Gap is the mid tier, right?
Yep.
And then Banana Republic is high end. And so they appeal to three different markets, but it's the same company.
Exactly.
Same company.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's awesome branding. So those are both good examples of how you can use three-tier pricing for your products and services for your business.
Yeah.
Now I want to go buy some clothes at Banana Republic.
Me too,
I
man.
like the
We'll
Gap
get
too.
decked out eventually.
I like all three, but now that I'm getting older, I can't wear the stuff that I see at Old Navy anymore. Yeah, I kind of grew out of that style. Except for blue jeans. Blue jeans never go out of style.
Yeah, that's right. And you never know, they rotate their stock, so yeah, might pop
Okay.
in there one day, find something you like.
All right. So let me go through the last five because I know that we're already over time. Number 10 is don't forget to ask for the sell. There's an old saying in Spanish is si no llora no mama. In English, it will be if the baby doesn't cry, the baby doesn't get milk.
Yep.
you got to ask for the sale, right? Or you're not going to make any money.
That's right.
So make sure you put a call to action somewhere so that you can get that sale. Number 11 is customized proposals. If you can create a custom proposal for your prospective client, then you have a higher probability of closing the deal because you've customized it for their specific needs. Okay, number 12 is follow up strategically. So have a system in place to nurture the clients, like an email sequence would be good, and continuing to give them relevant information that's useful to them. So, like for Sebastian's example, if you're talking to somebody who's playing soccer, giving them performance statistics about people who have cleats versus people who don't wear cleats, and then how much better Nike people are performing. Like those kind of statistics will be useful for them. Showing them a picture of somebody who's a super athlete, like who just won the World Cup, would be influential, right? Which is why they pay big money for sponsorships, right? Promotions, because it makes the end user feel like they can be that champion as well. So that's strategic. That's a strategic way to follow up. Number 13 is listen attentively. So by this, what we're referring to is ask the right questions and pay attention to what they say, because that can help you help you close deals. Even if you don't get a deal closed with the client that you're talking to, they could give you some clues about how to better sell to your ideal client avatar by fixing what you're not doing right.
Yeah.
Number 14 is have a referral program. So if I tell you, if Sebastian's one of my favorite clients, he's been around forever, he's my number one customer, right? Then why wouldn't Sebastian want to recommend me? And so to give Sebastian a little bit bigger of a nudge, if I say, hey, Sebastian, man, you've been my number one customer for so many years. Listen, this Christmas, I'm running a special promotion because I want more number one customers, even though you're always going to be my number one customer. I'm going to do a special promotion, and I'm going to give away a Jingle All the Way movie to anybody who buys my program, and I'm going to give you one for everybody that buys one too. How's that?
All right.
Okay. So it's a win-win, right?
Yeah.
You're happy to tell people about it because you love it, and then you're getting a prize out of it too, right? And then number 15 is be patient.
Yeah.
You got to think about building up, especially if you're a startup. If you're a startup company, you've got to think of your approach to building up your business. The ramp up period usually takes about 3 years to get a business operational and then make profit. Big companies, like when I was studying feasibility studies for hotels, when I was getting my master's degree in hotel management, the ramp up period for a brand new hotel was 3 years. That means for the first 2.5 years, that hotel is operating in the red, which means it means you're spending money, not making a profit. And then in the year 3, that's when they start becoming profitable. By the end of year 3, based on the pro forma, they're going to start showing positive cash flow from that business. So if you think, obviously hotels are very expensive to build, very expensive to operate because you have so much staff. Your housekeeping staff, your front office staff, your kitchen staff, if you have a kitchen, there's the groundskeepers, maintenance workers, people who have to change all of the components inside of the building, mechanical components, things like air conditioning, lighting,
elevator technicians, electricians,
all of that. And so like, if you think about the operating expenses, it's very high. So it does take time to ramp up sales in order to cover the cost, right? Just to break even. It takes time to get enough sales to cover those costs. So you're not profitable until year 3, typically. With a small startup business, it's a whole lot different. You can show profit right away because think about it. Maybe you're 1 to 5 people, maybe max 10, not 50, 60, 70, 80 people to get the business operational. That's a lot of money that has to go out. So because your costs are low, and especially today, you can have a functional business very quickly because we have technology. You don't need to go out and hire a marketing company. You can do your own marketing content with social media, with Canva, with YouTube, right? And so your operating costs are very low compare it to big companies, right? Franchises cost.
Yeah.
So I met a girl whose family was starting a barbecue franchise, and their initial expenses to start up was about $200,000, and
Wow.
that's buying a tried and true franchise. Imagine if you're starting from something from scratch where you have no guarantees it's going to work. It's very risky. The expenses could be a whole lot more because you're testing things out. You don't know instructions to follow. At least with a franchise, you're like buying a business in a box. They tell you what to do. You know.
That's right.
So anyway, my point was you have to be patient in the growth. Like expect it to be more like a marathon and not a sprint. It's not going to be like one and done. You've got to take your time through the process. Anyway, so those are ways to nurture. All of those keys are helpful in nurturing the relationship and building trust. And next week when we come back, I'm going to tell you how to close the deal, how to invite the men to do business with you.
Yeah.
That's it, buddy.
All right. That was
I know
great.
we went long, man. It's almost 9:00. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. That's what we have on the clock.
It was great. I had fun.
Me too. I always have fun with you. And by the way, I love the photo. I saw that you changed the photo on your
yeah,
picture thing here, and that's a great picture, Sebastian. I love it with the lights here in our studio.
thanks. So cool. I love it too. I like this one a lot.
And listen, we need to get those lapel mics so that you can give one to Michaela so she can chime in, and we can make this a three for all.
That's right. Yeah, we do. We definitely need those. And
Michaela, you need to come on board, Michaela. Stop being in the background and pick up the microphone. I challenge you to pick up the microphone and join us.
That'd be fun. That would be really fun.
All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. Do you have anything else you want to add before we go?
No, I think that was a great episode, great way to end the show, and I'm excited to be back next week.
Okay, and so you're gonna sing for us next episode, right? When we wrap up.
I don't remember discussing that, but
I don't remember that being in the show notes, Dad.
I don't remember seeing that in the notes.
I must have missed that memo.
Didn't you get the memo?
Did you get the memo?
I love when Morgan Freeman did that in Batman. Oh, that's just what I was thinking of. And also, in addition to that, Bruce Wayne was saying how it's all very technical and legal stuff, and that's what the guy said to Morgan Freeman. So it's just amazing how they both use his words against him.
I love it, man. Oh, that was so good, man. Love it. And I love that we're on the same page. That you knew exactly where I was going with this. You didn't get the memo?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. The Tannerisms.
That's right.
Oh man, that's awesome.
All right.
By the way, are you excited about Kung Fu Panda 4?
Excited about what?
Kung Fu Panda number 4.
Oh, definitely.
I wish we could go see it together, man. Like, remember when you were a kid, we used to go to church at a movie theater on Sundays, and then sometimes we would stay and watch a movie.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Right? I want to go to the movies with you guys. I remember the last time we went to the movies was at the Avenues Theater. Do you remember that? On Phillips Highway?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't remember what we saw. Oh, I remember what we saw. The Avengers.
Wow, that was a while ago. I remember that. Yep.
Endgame.
Wow. Yeah.
Avengers Endgame.
No, Endgame? I don't think it was. Was it Endgame?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure it was Endgame. I think that was. I don't want to say what happens, man, because somebody may not have seen it when they watch this video. I don't want to
Yeah, we can't spoil it.
Like what happened. So I'm not gonna say anything, but it was shocking. I'll say that.
It was. Oh man, it was definitely extremely shocking.
Extremely shocking. Okay, all right, we'll leave it at that. All right, because we don't want John Favre and Robert Downey Jr. come knocking on our door saying, "Hey, why are you talking about the movie on your podcast? Keep your mouth shut."
It's already been released a while ago, but some people might not have seen it.
That's right. All right, so we're gonna save it for them. We're not gonna talk about it, but go see it. It's good. It's really good. I think that was the last one we saw together. Anyway, it would be
Yeah,
cool if we could go see Kung Fu Panda together because I want to see that movie. And then,
I
and
know. Me
then,
too. I'm excited to see it.
and then go eat some Chinese food.
Don't forget.
Never forget. All right, that's
All
awesome, man.
right.
Thank you for bringing the energy tonight. I always love hanging out with you, Sebastian. This has been so
Me
much fun.
too. It was fun.
And thank you, Michaela, for lending me Sebastian for tonight's episode. I'm sorry that I had to take you out from your routine in order to do that, but thank you for doing that for us.
She said you're welcome.
All right, appreciate that, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. I saw that we had some good marks last. Well, this past episode we didn't boost the promotion, like how we normally do, but the prior week we had over 1,000. But even without boosting it, there was almost 100 people that tuned in to watch this episode on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like 76 people tuned in to watch the episode. So I'm really excited about that, and it's very joyful in order to be able to share the content that we're doing. I think even if we reach one person and they benefit from it, we're doing a good job, And I encourage other people to do the same thing too. Like make your own niche, come up with your own brand and share this valuable content with other people. Like, it's like, I think people make a big deal about what it is to be an influencer or being a life coach, but it's like the old days. Remember I was telling you, Sebastian, like big brothers, big sisters, like all you need to do is find one person you can help and offer to be a helping hand, to give some guidance, right? Be a unofficial guidance counselor, life coach.
That's right.
So like if we can all do that, help one person out, man, we're making the world a lot better. And we need that today. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week, Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
That's right. We'll be seeing y'all next week.
So go out there and
amplify your message.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great week. God bless you all.
Have a great week. God bless you. Bye. Love you too.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.